Every city has a defining character, one undeniable element that makes it memorable and travel-worthy. The capital city of Metro Manila is vibrant and ever-changing. In the mountain province of northern Luzon, Baguio City is known to be charming and artistic, while the island city of Cebu is laid back. Until, that is, festival season draws out its spirited personality. But what of places like Sorsogon City, whose new and delicate nature has yet to be fully experienced? Where does one begin to learn its defining character? Join us as we head to Sorsogon City and witness for ourselves the wealth and charm of this burgeoning township. To get there is simple. A quick flight to the Legazpi International Airport before an hour-long drive to the city via the Pan-Pacific Highway. The city is relatively young. In fact, it was only granted cityhood in 2000 when the town of Bacon and Sorsogon came together. Today it covers a sprawling stretch of land spread over 31,000 hectares and is home to over 150,000 residents, making it the third largest city in Bicol, its home region. A gateway to the south, it prides itself as having the closest and most direct access to the Visayan islands of Samar and Leyte, where inspiring adventures are being developed. As you travel toward the city, the great expanse of farms draw the eye to the rising mountains, showing the emerging beauty of the Sorsogon countryside. Its tropical climate follows much of the rest of the peninsula, with its warm summers and wet monsoons. Although the weather can be capricious throughout the year, it's often the best time to visit in months of June to July and December to March. Coincidentally, these are in line with the festivals that are celebrated by Sorsogon City. This vast countryside has changed much over the centuries, but its people remain firmly rooted to its history. At the Sorsogon Provincial Museum, we are given the opportunity to walk through time and learn through the murals and the remnants of the past how Sorsogon came to be. Sorsogon City was originally part of a vast fishing village and one of the oldest settlements in the country. Ceramics dating as far back as the Ming Dynasty have been found throughout the province. And with the Pacific just at their doorstep, a gallery for natural history is also available to view. And what a view Sorsogon can provide! At the Rempiola City Boardwalk, order up a healthy helping of natural beauty. Here, most of the locals gather to get some fresh sea breeze and some much-needed time together. Sorsogon is also lucky to have cold springs littered throughout the area. The Cold Spring Resort is certainly a refreshing treat from the activities of the day. Or explore further and discover unexpected beauty, where you can rest underneath the canopy of ancient trees. And if safety is your measure, then the pools at the Alburo Resort will definitely impress you. From here, take a kayak and go the way of the river. On a quiet afternoon trip, you can go bird watching, fishing, and see what it must be like to grow up in a town at a crossroads. Geography and history may offer up a setting by which to understand a place, but these provide little insight into the character of a young city. To get into the mind of a Sorsogueño, we must delve deeper into their customs, culture, and cuisine. The best way to begin is by visiting Sorsogon's most popular festival. The Pili Festival is held toward the end of June. Initially, it was a feast day celebration of St. Paul and St. Peter. But over the years, the festival has become more about the bountiful harvest of the pili nut, Sorsogon's most valuable resource. The Pili Festival is a long-held tradition in Sorsogon City. It centers primarily on the pili, a nut similar to a soft almond or a macadamia with a creamy texture. Although the pili is not endemic to the Philippines, only a few places like Sorsogon have managed to commercially trade it. At the Leslie's Pili Farm, there stands a forest of 100-year-old pili trees. Here, the secret to making top-grade pili products is shared with anyone interested to learn. Most pili nuts are still picked and cracked by hand, as the process is quite delicate. From here on, the kernel is extracted. Eaten raw, many have compared it to a bigger sunflower seed. But when roasted, a fresh aroma from its natural oils is released, and the best of the pili nut can be enjoyed. Simply delicious. And the same can be said of Sorsogon's cuisine. On a spread that could rival a king's feast, the city shares the best of itself in the Pamarahaw Feast Festival. An assortment of rice cakes, pili nut concoctions, fresh fruits, and more. The spirit of dining together brings a city closer. But like any big family, it is a frenzy to behold. If the feast has left your palate wanting more, the trip to the Bayside may offer up more flavors than you can handle. At the Culinary Food Expo, get a sampling of all your favorite Sorsogon treats. From jams and honeys, tamarind sweets, and a host of pili products, from oils to flour, you name it, this is the place to look. But looking around, there seems to be an overarching concept behind these delicacies. In the recent years, there has been a movement within the city to explore and expand their knowledge of locally available natural cures.
So the program aims to rediscover local resources, the sea resources as well as the land resources for poverty alleviation, for health and wellness, and to create some products that we can showcase as we join the global competition or the ASEAN integration. If we're able to hone our local chef to cook the bounties that we have here, both from the land and from the sea, we're creating from something that is easily available and at a lower cost. We can also include the knowledge of the local hilot, allow them to participate, and allow doctors here to integrate with what the local healers knows so that we can maximize everything, the resources that we have for wellness. We do have community-based wellness programs, and we will be introducing campus-based wellness programs. And with that, we would want children to undergo palate education, because the taste of the local stuff that we have in Sorsogon has long been forgotten and has to be reintroduced.
It is the need to bridge generations and interests and to have them come together that has fueled the city moving forward. But for what purpose? Perhaps it can be better expressed through dance. Contrary to what many may think, festivals are in fact more for the local community than to impress the passing traveler. Year in, year out, there is a concerted effort by the Sorsogueños to come together and enjoy each other's company. But as any curious explorer knows, visiting a festival is a clever way to assimilate with the local customs. One such custom is the need to dance. No one can pinpoint per se when the Sorsogeños needed the urge to express themselves through movement, but today they have a rich culture of dance, one that is prevalent throughout the Bicol region, but with their own vibrant touch. The Pastores de Belén, or simply the Pastores, is a shepherd's dance originally done during the Christmas season. Much of Sorsogon's dances are a mix of Hispanic influences and ethnic movements. It is a dance done both for worship as much as it is for celebration. A small group of young dancers in colorful attire maneuver through the streets, women carrying rosette garlands and men with ornate staffs. It is a vibrant and delightful process that has over time evolved into a religious community dance. Dresses twirling, a chorus in unison, together with a rhythm that rises to a crescendo before its solemn interlude, the highlight of the performance. Another is the Pantomina. The Pantomina is a wedding dance famous in the Bicol region. Here, partners face one another, mirroring each other's gestures without touching. Wearing the custom baratsaya, the women slip through the grasp of their partners, offering audiences a peek into the modest customs of their older traditions. Observing the Sorsogeños, one can see that to a degree, this humble, even innocent nature remained preserved in its people today. But among all the dances, perhaps it is the Pili Festival street dance that is key to unlocking the character of Sorsogon. So what is a Pili, and why is it such an important part of Sorsogon? Unlocking the character of a city takes more than just a visit to a place. It begins by delving deeper into understanding their customs. What better expression of this than through a festival? With the audiences buzzing with excitement, there was much to accomplish in this 10-day event. A look at the itinerary of the Pili Festival may seem overwhelming. From acrobatic shows, sports fests with traditional games, and loads of talent shows catering to every demographic. Sorsogon is not shy about its abilities, but one event has everyone at the edge of their seats. Watch your fingers. It's time for a nut-cracking competition. Participants must crack and extract the kernel of the pili in the fastest time possible. The trick is really to apply the right amount of pressure to crack the nut, but not enough to slice it in half. For many children who grew up in Sorsogon, the skill is almost inherent. Carrying an intimidating bolo or a machete, they start hacking away at the nut, and before you know it, a winner is declared. Echoing all over the city, the sound of drums and stomping feet signal the start of the Pili Festival street dance and our introduction to the many elements of the city. A contest and a youth event, it is participated in by the various district schools in the city. With Sorsogon fully draped in Pili Decker, the parade begins along the streets of the city. Part of the street dance competition is the synchronized parade. With hundreds of students ready to march on, each group has a unique design, but all follow one theme that honors the Pili tree. The dancing grounds of each team performs a dance that centers on the Pili and the history of Sorsogon. Such an event is no simple task, as points are given not only on the costumes and movements, but on the message of the performance in its entirety. Some focus on the history of Sorsogon, where Spanish traders set foot along the shores of the Sorsogon Bay. Sorsogon is one of the oldest settlements in the entire country, and so its history is essential, especially in sharing the story of the Filipino people. Then there are those that focus on the religious aspects of the city, taking inspiration from the many churches and religious events that the city celebrates. Others hone in on the natural resources of the city, as well as the beautiful countryside it belongs to. From the peaks of Mount Bulusan to the waters of the Buhatan River. From the wealth of its fishing community that has been around for centuries, to the birds that carry the legends of spirits in the mountains. But among them, the one that took home the prize was the one who focused simply and effectively on the most important element of the theme. The one that has inspired and bolstered the city forward, Sorsogon's pili nut. The Sorsogeños are predominantly Catholic. Its very founding in 1628 as a small independent parish was done in part due to the growing establishment of a Catholic community. Throughout the city, chapels and churches provide its locals a spiritual escape. The Rosary Garden and Chapel is one such place, a beautiful landscaped resting haven for those who need quiet and calm. But from afar, one of the most stark expressions of local custom is housed in the Cathedral of Saints Peter and Paul. Originally built in the 1700s, a great calamity had struck Bacon and Sorsogon. A devastating deluge had washed most of the original church and most of the figures within it, except, that is, the statue of Saint Peter and Paul. Thinking that this is a miraculous sign, they decided to rebuild the church in its new location and dub it the Cathedral of Saint Peter and Paul. Overall, other cities can boast of booming personalities. But Sorsogon has, through your experience here, a consistent value. The youthful exuberance of a city emerging. It can be seen in the vigorous adventure destinations. Its festivals alive with color and passion. Its sincere interest in exploring and sharing its own cuisine, and the idealism and belief in itself and its natural treasures. Sorsogon City, young as it is breaking through.